Welcome back, YouTube, to another G Auto Repair video. Today with another Dodge. This time is a 2002 Dodge Ram 1500 with a 3.7 liter. The complaint, again, no AC. Now, this time it's a little different. It has nothing to do with the compressor or refrigerant or anything of that matter. It's actually an electrical problem, and the customer complains that every now and then the blower quits working. He has to hit it and it starts, and then it'll be all right for a while, then it quits again, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So we automatically assumed, okay, it's a bad blower motor. Well, it's not a bad blower motor, and I'm going to kind of go through the steps that I use to diagnose this, because sometimes my viewers ask, well, how did you determine that? You know, what did you do? ABC 1 2 3. So I thought this was a good video to go ahead and show you guys how we can diagnose this situation, and then I'm gonna obviously let you know what it is. So basically, I always like to start whenever possible at the component, which is right here. And I went ahead and turned on the ignition, make sure the blower motor is supposed to be on, and I tapped it obviously to see if it will come on, which it didn't, in which case I went ahead and disconnected this and checked for power and ground. Well, I have my ground, but I have no power, or very little. 7.8 volts, not a whole lot, which is this green wire, and this has been butchered up, which was another clue, I guess. The original wiring is this one. This one's been added after the fact, so I'm assuming at some point something happened to that and they replaced it with this green wiring. So another thing that I did is, well, let me just manually turn it on. So if you have a power probe or similar like what I have here, I can just manually with the tool turn on the motor. The motor is working. So that right there led me to believe that I have an electrical problem and not a problem with the motor itself. So after I did the boring stuff and research, wiring diagrams, see where the power is supposed to come from and whatnot, I determined that I needed to do some troubleshooting. So I went over here because this is fed directly. This is fed directly from the ignition switch. So I came to the ignition. Can't talk right now. The ignition switch right here, and you can see this big thick cable here. That's where it's going to. And when I grabbed it and twisted it, I got it to turn on. Right there. See? If I can push up on the switch itself, see? I can get it to work. So I thought it might have been a burnt connector, because I have seen that before. Oops, wrong way. And so I disconnected it and looked at it, and it looks perfectly fine. I don't know if you guys can see that. I've seen this connector actually melt before. You know, these are the two pins here. It gets power at all times, and then this one here this one goes to the motor, this pin right here. And as you can see, everything looks fine. Right there. So I thought it was probably a bad contact there. I squeezed all the pins and put everything back, but it is not working. But it works when I push in and twist. Oh, I gotta turn it off. Yeah. When I twist and push up on the ignition switch. So I am very confident that the issue is the ignition switch itself internally. Some bad contact or something is going on there. So that's what I'm going to replace. So I don't have it yet. I just wanted to share the video with you guys to kind of go step by step on how I figured this one out. But I will get the ignition switch, and I will go ahead and put it on there and then do a follow-up video. I mean, I'm gonna do it on the same video, but I will turn the camera back on and let you guys see the end result. So stick around, and I'll be back when I got this in there. All right, well, we're back here with the Dodge with the blower motor problem. I did replace the ignition switch. It did fix the problem. As you can see, there it is. The ignition is on, and no matter how I twist, pull, or push on the switch, it is working a-okay. Let me turn this off. I do apologize. I did actually do it live, and then after I finished recording, I realized that my camera angle was off, so all that was useless. So I do apologize. Please forgive me. But anywho, it's not that difficult. It's these two little T20 screws here, the Torx right here, 1 and 2. You take these out, and this switch slides right on out. There's this little catch here. Let me point it with my right here. They got a kind of, it's like a little locking tab type deal. You gotta jab your little screwdriver or something there, and then it slides right on out. And when putting it back in, you may have to line up the inside of the switch. Kind of, you got to play with it a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't line up perfectly, so that's about the only thing that might give you a little bit of difficulties. But confirmed. Here we go again. Ignition is on, blower motor is working, turns on the car, AC's working. You give it a couple seconds, it'll start cooling. Okay, perfectly. There you go. Now the blower motor is making a little noise, so it's probably dirty. I'm more than likely gonna go ahead and do a video on that, since it's a common problem, not just on these cars, but on cars general. But there you have it, guys. That's how we diagnosed this blower motor problem that ended up being the ignition switch. You would never think about that being an issue, but here you have it. Ignition switch fixed the issue. Now these two halves come out pretty easily. The two halves of the ignition column, the plastics, it's just three T20 screws that hold that together, and it comes right apart. So I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Nothing major. I do apologize. My camera was not recording correctly, so I do apologize for that. But thanks for watching, guys. Again, like and subscribe if you found this useful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Ciao.